Hello and welcome to another Pokemon Ranger video, episode 36, Kisara's Plains Special Encounters. Originally this was going to be a casual video until I realized how complex some of these captures were, hence is why this dedicated video exists. Within the Kisara Plains we're going to capture Abra, Doduo, Dodrio, Fearow, Gardevoir, Rapidash, Slowpoke, and to a lesser extent, Arcanine. Some of these Pokemon require certain conditions to be met before appearing, so I'll try to explain it as thoroughly as possible. Dodrio will appear once you have surpassed Joel's high score of 5000. Once you obtain the high score, then Dodrio will permanently appear in the Kisara Plains. Dodrio is located in the southern western section of the plain. If you're struggling to beat Joel's score, then I suggest you focus on capturing Pokemon with higher points such as Tauros or Donphan, or even wait until you have completed the game and capture Skarmory. Speaking of which, Skarmory will appear once you've completed the game and seen the end credits. This highly valued Pokemon, in terms of score, will permanently be found in the eastern section of the plain. Just make sure that you're quick with your loops as it's a fairly difficult capture. Fearow will appear once you have surpassed Simon's high score of 50,000 in the Vol City Capture Arena. Though a bit more casual, I do explain the point system in episode 28, if you're struggling. Once you have surpassed Jaden's high score, then Fearow will permanently appear in the northern section of the Kisara Plains. Rapidash will appear once you've captured at least 2 Spoinks. From the starting section, follow the general direction that the footpath leads and slightly continue east until you find the first Spoink. Continue running in that general direction. Loop around to the northern section, around where Fearow spawns, to find your second Spoink. Once both Spoinks are captured, then you'll find several Rapidashes running around in the overworld. Unlike the other Pokemon mentioned, Abra is a permanent resident within the Kisara Plains. The only difference is that you'll need to wait at least a minute before it spawns. Once the in-game timer has dropped below the 2-minute mark, then Abra will spawn. The 2 areas I know Abra appears in is the first grassy patch near the starting section, and secondly, slightly northeast from an NPC. Side note, if a Kecleon spawns instead of an Abra, I suggest you capture that Kecleon, run to another section, return to that area and hope that Abra spawns. Slowpoke will appear once you have captured at least 2 Abras. Follow the previous tips on locating the Abras and you will spawn Slowpoke. I found Slowpoke in close proximity to the NPC. Gardevoir will appear once you have captured at least 2 Kirlias. From the starting section, the first Kirlia can be located by following the footpath. A second one can be found by running south past the NPC. Once both Kirlias are captured, then you'll find several Gardevoirs running around in the overworld. Finally, Doduo will appear once you have captured at least 2 Gardevoirs. I found one Gardevoir close to the starting section and another close to the NPC. Once both Gardevoirs are captured, then you'll find Doduo in the overworld. I found it around the starting section. If you want to register Arcanine for the Ranger Dex, then I'd probably recommend you capture it within the jungle ruins, but I'll mention how to get it anyway. Arcanine will spawn once you have captured at least 2 Combuskins. Combuskin will spawn once you have captured at least 2 Torchics. Torchic can be found in the grassy sections. Combuskin can be found in both the overworld and the grassy sections. Once both criteria are met, then Arcanine will spawn. And that's it. I know there are a few extra Pokemon that can be found in the Kisara Plains, such as Bulbasaur, but I've got faith that you can find it without my help. And that will be the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. Hopefully some of these tips will help someone who's watching this, and I hope you have a great day. So until next time, see ya.